This is Valmiki Ramayan, Season 5, Episode 7, Chaturmas. After Vali's cremation, Hanuman invited Ram to come with them to Kishkinda for Sugrive's coronation. But Ram politely declined since he could not enter any town during his exile in the forest. He told Sugrive, "The next 4 months will be the rainy season, Chaturmas. With the rivers all in spate, it is impossible to travel during this time. You should start the search for Sita as soon as the skies have cleared. For now, go back to Kishkinda and get yourself coronated. And do appoint Angad as your successor." Sugrive's coronation was a grand affair. His throne was golden, and the canopy on top was white and decked with gold. Clothes, jewels, and various eatables were given as gifts. Valmiki says, people who had knowledge of the mantras, Vedic chants, kindled the sacred fire and put kush grass all around. Then they made offerings into the fire as they recited the mantras. Sacred water collected from various rivers had been stored in golden pots. It was poured on Sugrive through horns of bulls. All this was done Shastra Drishtena Vidhina Maharshi Vihitena cha, as per the procedure laid down by the Maharshis in the Shastras. And then, following Ram's instruction, Sugrive appointed Angad as the Yuvraj. When Sugrive and Angad embraced each other, the Vanaras rejoiced. "Sadhu! Sadhu! Well done! Bravo!" The Vanaras were united once again. In the meantime, Ram and Lakshman found a suitable mountain cave on Prasravangiri to wait out the rainy months. The cave was large and airy, with some flat ground outside. It was on the northeastern face of the mountain, therefore well protected from the strong wind and rain that would strike from the west. The view from the cave was beautiful. White, black, and red boulders dotted the landscape. The river nearby looked pretty, with its sandbanks, lotuses, and waterbirds. And Kishkinda was not too far. One could even hear the Vanaras singing and beating their drums. And then the rain clouds rolled in. Valmiki says, "Navamasa dhritam garbham bhaskarasya gabhastibhi pitva rasam samudranam dyauh prasute rasayanam." The sky drinks water from the oceans with the help of the sun's rays, bears it in its womb for 9 months, and then delivers the water back. This is amazing poetry. The rains bring new life to this land parched by the hot summer sun, and therefore the very apt imagery of birth after 9 months in the womb. And Valmiki, ever the teacher, is also telling us about the water cycle, evaporation from the oceans and then precipitation from the clouds. By the way, in subsequent verses, Valmiki also makes a reference to Indra causing rain, Salilam Surendra Dattam. The modern reader may find this confusing. Did Valmiki think rain is caused by the water cycle or by Indra? We should understand that for Valmiki, it was not one idea versus the other. He knew about the water cycle, but he also recognized the divinity in natural phenomena. And thus, the rains brought alive the mountains and the forests. Ram describes the beauty of the Varsha Ritu, the rainy season, in all its glory. "O Lakshman, look! The torrents of rain, the thunder, the fresh green grass shining with water droplets, waterfalls everywhere on the mountainsides, frogs croaking after their long summer sleep, the bees humming, ripe mangoes now fallen on the ground, jamun trees laden with fruit. The dark clouds on the mountains look like cheer vastras, the streams cascading down like sacred threads. And with the wind blowing through the caves, the mountains are like scholars reciting the Vedas. The breeze is so cool and fragrant, one can almost drink it. But even as nature erupted in joy and celebration, there was no joy for Ram. He said, "Clouds are showering rain, rivers are flowing swiftly, elephants are trumpeting, peacocks are dancing. But those separated from their loved ones are missing them dearly. Nila megha shrita vidyut sphuranti pratibhati me sphuranti ravanasyanke vaidehiva tapasvini." When lightning strikes through the dark clouds, it seems to me as though Sita is struggling to free herself from Ravan. Note the image of Sita in Ram's mind. She is like lightning, but she needed his help, and there was nothing he could do for her right then. He just had to wait. Wait for the rains to stop, and wait for Sugrive to make good on his promise. The months went by, and finally the rainy season was over. But there was no word from Sugrive. In Kishkinda, Hanuman too noticed that the skies had cleared, but Sugrive was not thinking of what he had to do for Ram. Sugrive had got what he wanted and was busy having a good time with the many women in his palace. He was partying day and night without a worry in the world. Viharantam ahoratram vigatajwaram. Further, mantrishu nyastakaryancha mantrinam anavekshakam. He had delegated everything to his ministers and was not supervising them. Hanuman counseled Sugrive politely but firmly. We ought to start the search for Sita. We are already late. Please do not forget what Ram has done for you and what you have promised to do for him. Very timely advice, for Ram was running out of patience. He told Lakshman, "These 4 months have been like 100 years for me. Sugrive does not seem to be concerned with what he had promised me. I think my ungrateful friend wants to see my great bow once again and hear its dreadful twang. Nasa sankuchitah pantha yena vali hato gatah. The road taken by the dead Vali is not yet closed." Iti ha asa. That is how it happened.